Hi, friends. It's Marvelous Monday. I'm Angela with Wild Violet's Art, and tonight I'm bringing you a sneak peek of online exclusives that are coming out tomorrow. So I got my swap from my Stamp and Share for Leaders group, and it was all online exclusive. So I've got some great samples to show you, but there are just tons of new things that are coming out as of tomorrow. And I will post a flyer in a PDF so that you can see pictures of all the online items that are coming out tomorrow. And so you can take a look at those and get excited about it. There's some really cute things. And today I'm going to play with the Filled with Fun bundle. Now it's a really cute one. I gave you a little sneak peek of the little red wagon that I showed you the other day on Friday. And we're going to show you how to make a card and also show you how to make the 3D sample as well. So I'm going to post all this with all the measurements to my blog. So if you don't feel like you caught it, you can always catch it on YouTube and just rewind it, pause it, however you need to, but I'll also post it on my blog. So if you want to go to my blog, which is Wild Violet's Art, and sign up for all my newsletters, you'll get a post that'll show you about this really sweet little, this wagon and the cards that I'm making tonight. Okay, let's change view real quick. All right, so this is the little wagon that I showed you on Friday, and it's just so adorable, and just can be filled with little treats, and it has below a way for the little wheels to stay below the wagon. So just a little, I'll show you how to do that as well. So hopefully you can see all this. I'll post pictures of it all, and I'll post instructions. Okay, so this is a really simple version of this wagon. All I did is I stamped this cute little wagon, this right here, this little set of packages, and sending loads of happiness. And then I colored them with blends. So it's just a real cute version of what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to do one that is stepped up a little bit. And then I add some of the little, let's see, I think they're called holiday gems or holiday pearls, festive pearls. That's what. So some little silver bling to kind of, so you can see this is like a little 3D. And then one of the cards I got from my swap, and this was done by Tracy Filter, and it's just another version of the wagon. So she just used the little wooden panels like it was a garden cart, which I just thought was adorable. So, just a sweet little card, and she made it just a little bit 3D by adding the blooming flowers and popped up the panel. Okay. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, so all of the online exclusives are starting tomorrow. I showed you the Flowering Zinnia and the Simple Zinnia bundle, and that included all this beautiful cardstock, designer series paper, adhesive packed sequins. Now the Berry Burst and Old Olive and White Glimmer specialty paper, that didn't come in the suite, but it's also available. Now I understand that the stamp set right now is on back order, but you can get everything else individually. And then once the stamp set is available March 11th, then you should be able to have access to it then. But there's all kinds of, there's like the Sweetly Scripted stamp set. There's a Lot of Love, a latte, which is a little latte sweet. There's Encircled in Nature. There's Magnolia bundle, Textured Timber Cling, Drizzling Droplets, stamp set. There are so many things to show you. Pets and More photopolymer. This is the Filled and Fun, Happy Little Things, and Comforting Thoughts photopolymer. So lots and lots is coming available as of tomorrow, and this will not be in your catalog. This is something that you can only get online. Okay, so the cute little Filled with Fun stamp set and dies. So the dies that I used for tonight, let me just grab a few things. So this is the stamp set that has all the little packages on it. And this is the sentiment. And rather than just stamping it right on the cardstock like this one, this is a really nice, easy beginners. There's nothing 3D about it except for the little festive pearls. This has got the sentiment stamped and die cut with a label. Sorry, let me turn off my work phone so I stop hearing the emails being me. Okay. So for this card, I'm just going to make a 3D version of this. So I'm pretty much going to make it so that it's not the wagon, but it's just the elements that are already done that are on this card. But I'm going to add a couple of layers. So I start with the base. And this is just an A2 base. And I'm going to glue down the cherry cobbler cardstock. And I've made it just 1/8 of an inch smaller than my card base, just to kind of get that nice little frame. And then I have basic black. I'm going to do a layer of that. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 3/8. And then this one is I can't even remember now. Sorry, it's 3 7/8 by 5. Actually, 5 1/8. And then I have a piece of cardstock here, and this is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So this is 1/8 of an inch bigger. Okay, before I glue this down, I want a little background because I think this is super sweet, but I think I'd like a little color. So the blend that I used for blue is boho blue, and I'm going to use my stamp pad. I'm going to stamp off a little bit here with the blender brush. And it just adds a little bit of a background so that when I build my cute little wagon, it has a background to sit against. I didn't have to do that, but I just wanted to have a little bit of something cute. Okay, so I'm going to need my Stampin' Dimensionals. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up my little wagon. And I use every little bit of my dimensionals. All the little pieces around the edge is what you're seeing here. Okay, so I want my sentiment to be up here. And I'm going to put my wagon about there. Oops, I need to do a little bit to the left because I need enough room for the cute little wagon handle. Okay, so now this is pretty small. And so instead of using dimensionals that are hexagon, I'm using the foam adhesive strips, and they're about 1/8 of an inch wide. So they make really nice strips for really small pieces like this. So I need a piece that's about that long. And I'm bending it to the shape. And then I need another little one for the bottom. And then it pops up like my wagon does. Okay. All right. Now I have this cute little wooden panel. So the pieces that I'm using, just so that you're aware, let me just pull this out. So I'm using, this is the handle, this is the wagon, this is the wood panel. I'm using the wheels, there's 2 of those, so it makes it a little bit faster. And then this is the rims, so you can see. And then this is what I will cut out for my cute little gift package. So all right. So I'll leave these here so you can see those. All right, so for my little wood paneling, I want you to notice that it seems to cut all the way through the wood. So I'm not sure if you can tell, but it does cut all the way through the wood. So you're going to want to hold it together when you start adding your dimensionals. And I think I should use the smaller ones for this. So just make sure it's held together when you're adding your dimensionals. And this is just pretty much going to cover the side of the wagon. So it just gets popped down up just a little bit further than the wagon. So it's already really cute. And then the rims get glued onto the wheels. And then I'm going to use dimensionals, and I think I'll use the bigger one for the tires so it has a little more stability. And they can be as low as you want them to be, and I like them so that they are about 2/3 of the way down from the wagon. So it just, there's some really nice space underneath. Because when I stamped this one, I stamped it so it just, the tire fit the curve. So cute. Okay, so now this little sentiment can be popped up. And I'm going to put it up above. And I'm going to have it so that it's lined up with the top of the card. And then this gets glued to the card front. And then we'll color this, die cut it, and then we'll put it in the wagon. You can see how the black just kind of pops. The black accent just really kind of pops it. So, okay. So for this little wagon, or all the gifts, and I'm just using 3 colors, which is red and blue and yellow. So this would be a great card for my grandson and for his birthday. And so I'm using the light and the dark of the Daffodil Delight. And for the little flames, I'm just adding a little dark at the bottom. And then I'm going to start adding the stripes. Just so it looks like a boy's cake. You know, you can totally make this a girl's cake if you want to. Okay, and then I'm going to color the flag. So if you look at the flag, you'll see that it kind of looks like it's flying. So this one too just has a look of like it's flapping in the wind. So we're going to do a little bit of dark. And it doesn't really look like it's going to do anything right now. Oh, and we want to do the ribbon on this gift. So those are all my dark. And then I'm going to come back with a light. I'm going to do the entire thing in the light color and then just kind of blend it again. And it just really looks like it's flapping in the wind. And then I'm going to do the rest of the package. Okay, so I'm done with the yellow. I'm going to do the red. Okay, so I'm doing polka dots. I mean, who says that polka dots are only for girls? I think this could be polka dots for anybody. You can make the packages anything you want to be. You can cut them out in designer series paper and add it so that you've got a pattern. Now you see that I'm kind of leaving some areas white, so I'm not sure if you're noticing, but what I'm doing is I'm making places where I can highlight and add it looking like there's light that kind of shines on the ribbon. So you can kind of see where the white is. And so then I can come back with my lifter and I can blend it a little bit. And then it kind of softens that area. And you'll see it in a few minutes once it dries. It looks great. So it looks like it's just got some shiny areas. And it just kind of bleeds. And it just really softens it. Okay, so I'm going to start with the light of the boho blue. And I'm going to do the rest of the cake stripes. Nothing special here, just coloring. I just love the blends. So vibrant. And this is a fun one, a fun set to make the colors really vibrant. Okay, so same thing. Oh, I think the ribbon gets, actually, I'm using the, I'm accidentally coloring too much. Okay, so that's the nice thing about the blends is that you can actually use the lifter to lift some color. So I should have used the light blue first. Okay, and then I'm going to use the light blue for some stripes. And then I can come back with the lifter and I can lift a little bit of color from my bow. So it looks like there's a little bit of color. Okay, so you can see how I've made it kind of look in 3D. I love to color like that. So, okay, so let me cut this out real quick and I'll be right back. Whoops, I need this one. Okay, so you'll notice that the nice thing about the way they created these dies is it leaves you a little bit of a lip down here, down below, so that you can tuck it under your little wagon. Okay, so let me just add some dimensionals on the back of this. I have one dimensional left. Okay, and so now just going to tuck it under the panel and let it kind of pop over the top of the sentiment a little bit. Isn't that cute? Okay, so now we're just going to add some of these festive pearls, and we're adding the little silver ones because the silver ones just make a great little wheel. Or I shouldn't say wheel, I think it's rim. And I can add one. Actually, that one doesn't work there really. So let's just add a couple up here and another one right there. All right. So there's this card and then there's this one, and these are all 3D. So you can see they're all popped up. And then this one is just really basic. You know, it's just stamp coloring and on paper. This one is 3D. And now I'm going to show you how to do this adorable little 3D wagon. Okay, so you're going to start with you're going to need 4.5 by 3.5 inch cardstock, whatever color you want your wagon to be. And you're going to need 4 panels. Now we're going to cut 2 of them down for the end. So you can see here with this wagon, we use 2 full panels on each side, and then we use one on the back and one on the front, and those are actually trimmed down. Okay. You're going to need 2 wagon bodies. This is going to be to hold your wheels. Okay. So it's your under the carriage of the wagon. You're going to need 4 tires. And you're going to need 4 rims. Okay, and then you're going to need 2 of the handle, and one of them is cut upside down. So in other words, this is the silver foil paper, and it's from the silver foil 12 by 12 specialty pack, and I'm using the shiniest for that. And so you're going to cut one correctly and one upside down, and then you're going to glue them together so it gives it a little bit more stability. And then if you notice, I used a little, I want to say bracket. So what I did is I just cut a piece that's about 1/4 of an inch, and then what I did is I folded it in half so that I can get it to stay on. I have a second one here. So you're working with little pieces. So, all right. And then you're also going to need 2 that are 2 1/4 by 3/4 inch. And then it's going to be scored at 1/4 inch on all 4 sides. This one that's 4 1/2 by 3 1/2, you're going to need to score it at 7/8 along all 4 sides. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to snip this one here. And then I'm just going to do a little angle. So I'm going to leave the side panel alone, and I've got a little flap. I'll do that in 4 places. I took all my snips in to have them sharpened, and I left myself with no snips. So I'm using my son's scissors, as you can tell. But ever so often, you know, the paper just, it makes it so that you can't cut the ribbon as well anymore. And I like being able to do that. Okay, so this is this one. So this one, I'm going to snip at the end and snip out some little angles. And this is what the tires or the little wheels are going to grab onto, because otherwise there's not a way for them to hold on, because otherwise it's like you're just holding on to with just barely any of the wheel. This little wagon, 3D wagon, is so cute, and it can just be filled with little treats. It can be like little gift to attendees for like a little birthday party or little goodies for the kids. So, okay. So now we start putting it together. So I'm going to start folding at all the score lines. So I've given all the dimensions here, so if you want to zoom into that, but I also will be posting this to my blog so you have that information. Okay. Then I'm just going to make sure that my corners line up. Kind of hold on to it for a second so it gets a chance to adhere. A little bit too much glue. All right, and here's the last piece. Okay, And then I'm going to take the wagon body and I'm going to glue it to both sides. Okay. Probably should glue the inside of this so I don't get too much glue. So I'm going to make sure that the top of my wagon is just sticking up over the top of my box. So you can just see it just barely sticks up over the top. So you don't want to get too much glue at the top. And center it on the body. Okay. Now I'm going to work on the, I don't know what to call this. I can't think of all the little car things, but if somebody can think of it and wants to post it, that'd be great, because for the life of me, I just cannot think of what the term is. All right, so you don't need a lot of glue. This is just a little bit. I have these itty bitty little clothespins, and I'm going to use this to hold it together while it dries, while I assemble each one. And this is just, again, it's like 2 1/4 by 3/4 inch, and then it's a 1/4 inch score all the way around. And what this does, I'm going to be putting a dimensional, or a, yes, dimensional on both ends that the tires will hold on to. So I'm going to need 2 more of these little clips. It's funny how you have all these little things that you have around your workspace, and when something doesn't want to stay together, those clips, those little clothespins are really helpful. Okay. I'm just doing a little dot of glue. These are tiny, so but I want it to be nice and square. Okay, now I'm going to glue these onto the bottom, and so you can kind of see where the let's look at it this way. So this is the wagon, and this is where the tires are going to go. So we're going to line up these little frames right where the tires go. So I'm just going to center them on that space, more or less. Thank goodness for glue. You can wiggle it around a little bit. There we go. That's a better place. Okay, so we're going to let this sit for a minute so that it has a chance to kind of stabilize. Oops, need a little bit more glue. Okay, so we'll do some assembly of the tires. and your fingers get just a little bit of glue on it. Makes it really hard to do anything. Okay. And then once again, I'm going to put these little festive pearls in silver right in the middle of the rim. This is when my pick a tool comes in really handy, working with all this little stuff. This is more or less a labor of love, but it's so cute, I couldn't resist. Okay, now I'm going to glue these two together. So these are the handle, and as a reminder, they're silver on both sides, but one is cut upside down, and I'm going to glue them together so it just gives it a little stability so it's not quite so flexible. And they'll actually just line up really nicely together. And then I'm going to glue a little piece of this silver to give it an anchor so that it has something to hold it with. Oops, that's good, Angela. So just so you can get a close-up of what this is going to look like when I'm done. So this is going to adhere to the front of the wagon. Okay, so you can kind of see how that works. All right, so I think this has been sitting long enough with the little clothespins. And so now I can add dimensionals here, and I can put on the little tires. And I'm going to try to center it as best I can. So maybe I'll put the dimensional in the middle of the tire first so that I make sure I get it in the right spot. I don't know if you guys put together model airplanes or model cars or help your big brothers or whatever, but I did. I know I don't look like it now, but I was a bit of a tomboy when I was a kid, and I loved assembling stuff. So it also reminds me a little bit of helping my son with all of his Legos. There's some little pieces sometimes in the Legos, and they're really fun. Okay, so now I'm putting on the last tire. Just squeeze a little bit. So there it is. It's not going to be straight necessarily. Okay, so now I want to glue. Looks like that just came apart a little bit. Don't want to get too carried away with the glue. I should wait on this actually. Okay, so next is the panels. All right, so I need two of them that are full length, and then I need two of them that are cut down. And so what I did is I lined them up like so, and then I trimmed it, and it's actually the perfect length so that you have one on each side. Okay, so you can see how I lined it up. So the slats, the vertical slats are lined up, and then you turn it over and cut it off. So I'm not going to need this portion. But one of the things I think I mentioned earlier is that these slats tend to pull apart. So you're going to need to, again, put a dimensional on the back so that they stay in place. This is maybe something you want to think about. You might want to use black dimensionals for something like this, but okay, so one of the dimensionals needs to be, I need to take this off, needs to be kind of down a little bit. So I'm just making sure that it's lined up with the bottom. So you can see there's a little bit of space, like a 1/16 of an inch. And now I can start placing these around the little wagon. Okay, so I'm going to make it so that they just pop up over the top of the wagon. Okay, so they're going to be just really close to the top with just a smidge above it. Okay, so one of them is going to be a little further down, and again you're going to have to hold those wood grain together to get them to stay together. So this might be a really good example for you to see that I have just a smidge of a distance because I want it to be able to pop up just over the edge of my wagon. If you look at pictures of the wagons, you know, the little Red Rider, I think that they have a little bit more room and they have writing below, but I couldn't figure out a way to get these to stay on any other way. So I did it again. Put the dimensional too high. Okay. So I'm always holding the grain together because it wants to kind of separate in places. So you're going to want to make sure that you grab that. Whoops, too many dimensionals. Okay. All right, now he's got all of his little wood panels on there. Okay, so now I'm going to add this handle just to the bottom below the panel and center it on one edge. And there you have it. So I'm not going to take the time to color out another one of these and put it on top. I'll do that later. But that's how you put the little wagon together. And I hope that you try it and give it a try and just see what you think. I think it's a really cute little way to give gifts. It'd be great for a party. So if you enjoyed this and you want to watch it again on YouTube, I'll have it posted there just probably in about 30 minutes. Click like and share if you're watching this on YouTube later, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciated having a little audience. And we made this card. I think it just so cute with the little filled with fun bundle. It's really a great bundle, and it'll be available again starting tomorrow morning first thing. So I'll post these in the morning along with all the other offerings. You have something to look at, because all you have to do when you go into the store is type in online exclusives, but they have a lot of offerings. So to keep you from being overwhelmed, I'll post these pictures so that you can have an idea of all that's available. All right. Well, thanks. Have a great evening. We took a little more time than we normally do, but I hope you appreciated it. Talk to you later. Again, my name is Angela with Wild Violets Art.